Where do you start when you want to confront gun violence and community safety? Like, what needs to happen first for people to feel safe in their communities again?
Public safety is kind of like this cycle we go through. See, when crime hits neighborhoods and populations and demographics that not experienced it, they overreact. And they have the power to overreact. See, people who live with crime, they've been living with crime. It's when it hits wealthy neighborhoods. It's when it hits institution. That's when there is a reaction, and then they don't know how to deal with it. There's an overreaction. And people complain, that's overdone. So they start focusing on it to where the exact problem is. They modify it, and you get to a nice balance, right? And then people are happy with that. And then someone comes along and says, you know, we don't even need that. We could do away with that. And we do away with it. And then we get crime. And then crime grows, and then it becomes out of control, and then there is an overreaction. We're about to have an overreaction, right? It's an overreaction that's coming. Before we get to an overreaction, we should do what's been called focused deterrence, or whatever you call it. It's the same thing. So what I would say is this: start with your officers, train them properly, interface with the community, so that you have a customer service approach. And with that, they have to be visible and not there, told not to do things. Do the things you should do. The job is complicated, difficult, but it's actually very simple. You enforce the law. You enforce it appropriately. You don't over-enforce. You don't ignore. You do that.
Do you think the same thing about like the opioid crisis in terms of how do we clean that one up?
There's a lot of bureaucratic problems. Camden County, Berks County, Delaware County, Bucks County, they all have different systems. And yet these people are going from one place to the other, but they're all coming to Kensington. If you keep bringing them to Kensington, we cannot help them. That is nonsense. I can take in 2 cats. I could feed them. I can't take in 200. It's the exact opposite. It is the most unlawful place that makes false promises, that allows people who are addicted to live there on the streets in tents. You know, it is just an inhumane situation. So what I would say is this: 1, fix your bureaucracy, government. When people need help, help them. You know, they reduce the amount of help you get. The federal government did this.
So would you go to the federal government as
No,
mayor?
I will, as mayor, we will extend the help. We don't need the federal government, but you have to police the area. Because what people don't consider in all of this opioid crisis thing, they don't consider all the other people. You have children who got to go to school. You got parents that have to earn a living. There is someone who's going to provide services in the community that can't do it. You have the mostly young people that get involved in drug dealing, that end up in jail, that end up shot, that end up killed. What I would say is you need to enforce the law. You shouldn't make it easy for people to live on the streets on a 14 bag a day habit, hustling $140 every day. And at any moment, like subjecting themselves to overdoses and things like that. So I see no value in that. Mm-hmm. And what I would say is, if you enforce the law, consider all the people, bring the community back to life.